Welcome back, students. Here is your video for your homework paper, which is English Language Paper 2, and today we are going to tackle question 3, which is the language analysis question. We only need source A for this question, so you don't need source B, and it's not a comparison. And from talking to you guys after the PPE, this seems to be the question that we're most confident with. Our language analysis skills, our use of subject terms is really strong. So hopefully on this question we can look to reach them higher bands and get maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 marks on this question to give us a nice boost in that exam. Okay, so now we'll work through the steps of success together. So you go to question 3 in your homework paper. The first thing to do is to read the question and then to underline or highlight the key words. So it tells us we now need to refer only to source A from lines 13 to 23. And the actual question is, how does the writer use language to describe the storm? And as you can see, there's 12 marks available here. There's no bullet points for this question, so it's good to know that by language they mean the words, the source, maybe phrases, maybe language devices, and actually as well the sentence structures. And all the while we're looking for deliberate language choices, words, phrases that are creating meaning in the text. Our second step then is to go to our source. It's already annotated from our previous questions. And to bracket off the lines that we need here. I'm going to do this in green on my source because I've already got pink from previous questions. So we go from line 13 down to 23. And then it's really crucial to remember then all your quotes are going to come from these two paragraphs. Anything from outside there won't count. So next step, read it and identify the tone. At speeds touching 80 to 100 kilometres an hour, the storm whipped into the camp just minutes later, plunging the temperature down by 10 to 15 degrees in as many seconds. Ripping into the tents in a blinding fury of driving snow, the storm swept up the southern flanks of Everest, engulfing the ice-clad slopes effortlessly in a swirling mantle of hurricane-force winds. Within minutes, it had the northern side in its grip, and then it rose to take the summit. The mightiest mountain in the world disappeared from view as the storm took control. If Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction, and Nemesis, the Greek goddess of retribution, had joined forces, they could not have done a better job of devastation than nature itself did on that day. The timing was uncanny, as bad as it was possible to be. If the storm had struck in winter, then no one would have been hurt. But as chance would have it, the tempest arrived on the busiest day of the Everest calendar, right in the middle of the pre-monsoon climbing season. Now, sometimes when there's a tricky word, they'll give you a footnote and a glossary. So tempest here is just another word for storm, if anyone didn't know that. Okay, your next step then is to identify the tone of the section. Here, I like this word, kind of devastation stands out to me. So the tone of it is of this powerful storm, very destructive and very devastating. So I might put maybe the word destructive here. Then you go back into this section and you highlight for your 8 weighty quotes or words that really create meaning. Now, I kind of did this as I went along out of habit, but I'll just go back and kind of fully select. I like the word whipped there. I like ripping. All these verbs are creating a sense of anger in the storm, blinding fury there, personification, the engulfing, how it effortlessly took control, nice adverb there. How it's grip, so more personification. How it caused devastation, I really like. You might want to touch upon this part of kind of like the god of destruction as well, the goddess of retribution, if you wanted to. Now don't forget, by annotating, we don't just mean highlighting. You've got to kind of tell yourself why you chose these words. So this ripping, it's a verb and it makes it sound quite violent. Same for whipped. Here you've got personification. Makes the storm seem angry, like a force of nature. Here, effortlessly, you've got adverb. Oops, a bit strange. There to show how kind of quickly it took control. With grip, you can add that to personification. Engulfing, we can kind of add to our violent verbs as well over there. And then we go and write our response. Now as we do this, we are looking for kind of squaw, qua times 4 responses. And your quotes will always be the deliberate word choices that the writer's made. You're looking for about 4 of these, so I will just kind of quickly make a plan of my 4 statements to help you guys out. So how do they use language to describe the storm? They use language to describe the storm as destructive. How do they do this? So if I look back here and I look even at that first sentence with the commas, the subordinate clause, one of the things I'm going to comment on is the complex sentences. It seemed like a never-ending storm. Also the kind of extended metaphor used. Also, you've got to talk about the verbs in this question, so I'll put them there for how they describe the storm. The next way he describes the storm, very violent. Again, you've got verbs. And then if I look back over here, you've got the phrase took control as well. That's quite good for violent. How else do they describe the storm? They personify it. So personified as angry and aggressive. And when I look at my quotes, this fury really stands out to me. That could be good to use. And then maybe it's getting a little bit repetitive here, but at the end you could do a point on it being powerful. Then you're ready, you've got to write up your response following this format. So I'll start you guys off. The writer describes the storm, always using my words from the question, as very destructive. Then he uses long, complex sentences and a bit of analysis to suggest the storm is never ending. It keeps going on and on and on, like that sentence. He uses an extended metaphor of violence and a series of verbs such as, so here's some of the quotes from my text, whipped and swept. These words, maybe I'll go for verbs again, suggest the storm was quick, how it whips in from nowhere, vicious and brutal. It took the climbers by surprise. Number 1, done. I'm not going to do the rest for you, but I will start you off. So the next one, the writer describes the storm as violent. The verbs, and I want you this time to fill in with 2 of the other verbs that maybe we've already highlighted, or maybe ones that I've not highlighted that you prefer. And please don't just copy this, put in the words. To suggest the storm was, say, very strong. You might wish to change that analysis depending on your words that you've chosen. Then we'll add in this one the phrase took control, suggests. It'd be quite nice to see some of your own analysis there. And then once you've done the second one, you go on to your third one. Go on to your third one. The storm is personified as very angry. And then you're going to need your quote, your analysis, ideally another quote, some more analysis, and then your 4th paragraph as well. I'll put 10 minutes on the timer to finish off writing up your response. Good luck! Excellent. Once you've got your answer, you can give it a quick proofread. I've noticed here that this bit doesn't make sense, so you would just kind of get rid of the two there, the verbs and suggest a storm was very strong. Excellent, that's your question 3 answer done. The kind of final few tips that I'd give for this question is always to make sure that you focus on the question. I do that by always using the words from the question. That keeps your answer really, really focused. The second thing that people sometimes get wrong is choosing meaningful quotes, weighty quotes that you've got a lot to analyse with. If you choose a rubbish quote, so for example, at speeds, then there's nothing really to analyse there. And then the final thing to remember in this question is your subject terminology. We have to be quite technical here. So always identify, is it a complex sentence, is it a verb, is it an adverb, is it a metaphor, is it imagery, and try and use these subject terms wherever you can. Well done, guys.